What's up, chat? Oh my god. One of these years I'm gonna get that right. I'm lagging. I don't know why. Chat, I've been fighting for a hell of a long time last night and this morning to get this going, and just gonna confirm here. So we swapped out our cable. Chat, we're cooking. It's actually, it seems fixed. If somebody can please tell me from their end if you hear all the crackles and everything on the feed with the music. I don't know, guys. I tried 4 different USB-C cords now. I think it might be actually my mic that's the issue. I don't know. I swapped out this cable too for the headphones, and I still get a little scratchy every now and then, but I think it's on the up and up. So hopefully that will just take care of itself today. So last night, before technology by the way, we're in stand mode today, chat. We're serious. I took a little walk and I'm like, I should stand for today's stream. So recommend that to you as well. If you are watching this on your phone, get up, walk around, take a walk. It's a gorgeous day, I'm sure, wherever you are, and just get some exercise. It's Sunday. You got to get a little movement in to counter the football watching. And also, I wonder how they're doing. Hold on one sec, chat. Score alert. Vikings down by 7 against the Bears, who are actually unironically good this year. Weird. and we'll probably figure out a way to lose. So TBD. But yeah, thanks for jumping in today, chat. Appreciate you. Last night was able to get kind of our just framework around how we're thinking about this in a simple way. It is a little laggy for some reason, so we'll see. If shit breaks, it breaks. But here's what we're cooking with. And I extensively tested the browser situation over here in Cursor. It's pretty good. Like, it's legit pretty good. We'll do a couple updates on that today to show you how to do so and why it's kind of cool. It's not good for all use cases, but the time or the couple things that I put on it to test with it, it's pretty cool. So that said, the second thing that we've been doing, and by the way, if this is the first time here in chat, welcome, first off. If you want to go back and watch kind of some of the other VODs from the past week or so to just kind of walk through what we're up to, that's a good way to do it. But in a nutshell, basically, I wanted to create a podcast called MONDAI, MONDAI, and wanted to do an AI co-host to just kind of walk through it. I tested one of the kind of supposedly like best-in-class versions of this through Streamlabs, their AI product. And no shade against it, chat. Again, I love Streamlabs. They make cool shit. But this is the one that we tested with here. Hold, please. Okay, it was there. Bum, bum, bum. So I think it was called AI. Yeah, okay, so Intelligent Streamer. Not sure why this is jumping back. So Intelligent Streaming Agent, where basically you have a little avatar of somebody that pops up and you can talk to them while you stream. We tested this and basically it kept trying to like go back to the answers around the stream itself, or like some of the control questions for the stream or that kind of thing. And not super helpful or engaging or just like fun to talk to because it might be for that specific use case. But, if you want to have any kind of conversation, if you will, around anything else, then it's pretty limiting in what the functionality for it. So with that said, we decided, by we, I mean I, created a new one called HostFabric. Name sucks. I'm here for it now, but it's the best ChatGPT and I could come up with. And basically, yeah, kind of vibe coded the last couple days to this pretty, I think, kind of cool product to help the cause on how to do it. We are now able to like do a speech to text version of this where we can just talk to them. I also, as of yesterday, if you remember or watch the stream, eye booger. It's annoying. I was basically kind of redoing our core architecture because we wanted a simple way for the streamer to be able to have like that natural dialogue between them and the AI or the co-host. And best way we came up with, meaning Codex over here, our homie Claude, and ChatGPT broadly, was that we now have basically another signal that will send us on our server, and that's through this basically dual RTMP ingestion through. So basically it's another setting that the streamer will add to it, and in doing so we'll be able to basically have real-time speech to text translation back and forth between them and us. And the cool thing about that is we'll have the ability now to just use like WebRTC or UDP protocols to just have that conversation flow even quicker. We also updated the Grok GROQ to Whisper model, and so that's where is it? Oh yeah, we did some updates to our voice control. So now you can either do this listening live, which is basically it will take and we got to test this today. So this is one of the things we're going to be testing is basically all the audio back and forth between the streamer's audio will be heard by basically by the server, and then we'll interpret that, send it to Grok, and then send that text to the model that you have selected, and then it will do the speech to text back, or text to speech rather back. And speaking of that, it is so sexy, chat, to check this out. Actually, this is the wrong account. Let me log out of this one. We now have Google and Twitch working here, by the way, so I tested to confirm that. There's a little UX I wanted to update on that, but nothing too bad. Let's go to our +4 account. Another little trick, if you use any of your emails and add a plus string and anything behind it, then it will treat it as a separate email. So really good for testing if you're doing that. Also good for websites you want to sign up for but don't want to give them a separate email. Some block it now or test for that, but most another good way to do that in a simple way. Okay, so I'm on that other account, and if we go to our voice configuration here, first simplified this, cleaned it up quite a bit, took out the avatars because it didn't make sense. Our sound check works, and chat, listen to this, buttery smooth. You ready for this? Okay, so UK English, right? These are the ones that are pretty good, right?
Hello, this is a voice preview sample.
Not too bad, right? Now let's go over to 11 Labs. So these are the voices that we have available for 11 Labs. In chat, they are insane. You ready for these?
Just trust yourself, then you will know how to live.
I'd rather regret the things that I've done than the things that I have not done.
Damn.
As we are liberated from our own fear, our presence automatically liberates others.
You can tell from Bill here, a lot of people use this for like the auto-generated shorts and stuff. Like that's a voice that's, I think we all know pretty well. So that actually might be a meme. That might be fun to like, here's the shorts video guy, obviously named Bill. Love that. But these are just...
always happens that you really believe in, and the belief in a thing makes it happen.
That is cookie wisdom right there, chat. Wow. Sign me up.
Life without love is like a tree without blossoms or fruit.
Thanks, Cal. Appreciate you. Let's hear some ladies. Oops. Sorry, Jessica.
If you spend your whole life waiting for the storm, you'll never enjoy the sunshine.
Preach.
Our distrust is very expensive.
Our distrust is very expensive. Yeah, I vibe with that. I like that, Laura. Good point. Lily, what you got?
I have never been hurt by anything I didn't say.
Ooh, that's deep. That is real. Actually, no. That's... Sometimes you gotta say stuff, but I get the intent of it. All right.
Ideas are the beginning points of all fortunes.
Chat, these are real good, right? Like, that's the moral of the story is like, damn, these are amazing. So what we're going to do is test to make sure that they work today. So let's throw in Clyde.
I'd rather regret the things that I've done than the things that I have not done.
Oh my God. It's like any RPG like character voice you've ever heard, kind of wrapped into one. So, but at least it saves it now. We love that. So, okay, we'll check that today. I think it's sick, and honestly, it's the audio quality is insanity. I know Google, like, it gets there pretty closely, but 11 Labs just has it simple, easy process. You pick which voice you like. People know the voices already a little bit, right? Like we talked about with the Brian, I think. So that's, even some familiarity there is good. But I love it. It's, I think, going to be really, really fun to test with that today. Speaking of, let's see if our buddies who are working on that fix are there. And just a little update, I gave all three of these some bigger tasks before I went on a walk, and let's see where it's at. So Claude was in the process of reviewing the market pricing for using some of those new models. I think these are going to remain the same. And let's throw those updates in here. So what it said, and by the way, it gets lazy on this. It does have the CLI for Supabase. I don't know. For some reason, it's just not really keen on doing those. So let's go to here. Fuck. Okay, that's our legacy one chat, by the way. That's the one I'm not using anymore, but we'll... And guys, if you see... So, of the last 3 streams, I've shown 3 API keys. I've revoked all of them, regenerated them, but please just be kind. Don't fuck with this. Just a poor startup founder trying to do something cool, and if I do something stupid like show them, please let me know. I'm trying to just put this into the world, show you guys some of my mistakes and best practices on how to do it, and hopefully we can continue to do that. Like, I really don't want to have to like segment everything out just because I don't think you get as much value and all that. So I'll be more careful, but please let me know if that happens. So speaking of, so we just added our new SQL, which updated the pricing in our database for the different plans that we have. And then next up, we're going to have to do okay, we'll update the environment variables, which is the env.local file, which is where we store all of or most of the API keys, and just think of it kind of like, common variables that's going to be needed for the whole website, right? A lot of times these are secret as well, so you can keep them in there as such and like do some things to make it simple and not have them in there. But at the same point, it's also a good way to store variables, right? Like, think of it like the registry on your computer, or just common variables across the website that you want to access and secure. That's the way to do it. So let's not open that because that has all the things and I want to update it. But basically, we'll have to update a bunch of the environment variables in that and then test it and do some fun with that. But I actually want to work on what Codex is bumping with here. So we now have a new webhook to ingest the worker so that it can do the STT, speech to text output, straight into the orchestration without a user session. It validates X ingest secret, normalizes agents, and enqueues a job via the existing pipeline. By the way, chat, I know I've been trying to listen to pods or the streams as they go through, and sometimes if I move away from the mic, it doesn't pick up as much as I want it to, so I will try to be better about that. Okay, so we have our audio ingest work stream. Good. Fuck, I don't want to use Docker. Docker is a pain in the ass, chat. Like, if you can avoid using it, do so. But if we have to set up FFmpeg or some of these other kind of server tools, we might need to use it. So we'll check. Let's ask it about that. So these are working to-do lists, by the way. So these are all from yesterday. Okay, this one is the one that we're working on now. This has been, I mean, it's literally changing the whole architecture of the app behind the scenes. So that one obviously might take a little longer. Create user walkthrough videos on how we get started. I want to do that. End-to-end user creation, chatting, smoke test. Once we do number 1, we will be able to do that. Confirm the voices are updating expected. Well, we have to confirm it, but from what I'm hearing, they sound amazing. We'll do a couple of SEO checks, and then hopefully this is fixed when we fix this part. So it's all coming together, chat. Let's go here and still say open questions. Okay. And let's see where it ended with. Wire real token validation rate limiting into ingest session manager so only authorized rooms can publish. Yep, we want that. Extend transcripts plus the overlay to handle partial transcripts for live captions before the final. Yeah, that'd be great. Deploy the ingestion stack, Nginx plus service, and add health metrics piping so that the control panel can light up. Can light up ingest status alongside the new talk controls. Yes, implement the above. And before I told it to do all that, chat, I told it to make a list of like what it currently has to do and basically refining the answers that it gave us from our initial question, which was like a okay, so order of operations for this. Take your thought, especially if it's like a big, long, drawn-out version of it. Throw that into ChatGPT. Say, give me the best output or the best question possible to ask Codex to just look for edge cases, look for whatever else. We took that, put it into both Codex and Claude, got the responses from that, took those responses, including the original prompt, and then put that into Codex, or put that into an MD file and said, update this MD file with consolidating these answers into one, best practice answer for the whole workflow. And then it did that. And I said, great, now take that and add a list of to-dos relative to the best answers that you discovered from that process. So that's what we're doing now. And I'm just checking over to see if there's lag. There's not. You love to see it. Okay. And so yeah, that's what's cooking here. And I think we're close, chat. So yes, implement the above and update the checklist from the MD doc as you go. Okay, it's cooking there. Let's see, remaining 55 of 75 items is a lot. Environment variables, testing, Stripe dashboard setup, UI updates, and monitoring. Okay. The other thing, chat, I want to do is show you some of the company creation side of this. So I was going to use Stripe Atlas. I was going back and forth between whether this is going to be an LLC or a C Corp. And I think I'll walk you through the differences between those two and like why each are helpful when. But if you're going to be raising any kind of venture capital, you're probably going to want a C Corp. And even beyond that in Delaware. And Stripe Atlas is able to do that in a simple way. I don't know if we're going to do VC. Like, it's such a process, chat. And I've done this many, many times now. Had some good experiences, had some terrible experiences. I've talked to probably 300 of them. Maybe 350 now, I don't know. But anyway, we'll walk through all that process too this week and just like what that looks like. And then the company creation side using Stripe Atlas. Stripe Atlas just gets all that shit set up for you. It will incorporate in Delaware as a C Corp, which is kind of industry standard for that as of now. A lot of companies are moving out of Delaware, but I think just for the sake of simplicity, it's still the default for most, or at least it's still the recommended default for now, because they have this case law that goes from 200 years ago. Everybody knows about it, and even though companies are moving, and rightfully so, at least I've found it to be a simpler process to do at least the initial part of it. And you can always move it later, right? You can reincorporate. I think, who was it? One of the crypto companies moved last week. Brian Armstrong's company that I can't think of. Anyway, they moved to Texas, and I know all the Elon drama with his pay stuff. That's one of the reasons they moved. Like, I think a lot more companies will do so, and I love that, right? Like, that's why America kicks ass, is because it's like, hey, these states are little, test beds of democracy. Like, the best ideas win over time, and as long as you don't let it run too rampant and get like robber barons or trusts, which debatable if we have some of those today, but yeah, it's just the optimal way to find the best idea. And I think that's why it's so successful, is because we have that flexibility baked into our system. So anyway, we'll show you how to get that going and up and bumping. And then I wanted to do some of the go-to-market. We talked about this briefly yesterday, but idea generation. So one of the ones was, big streamers. There's a couple that I have some connections with, so we'll reach out to them. I don't know. It's not even them, it's friends of them. So hopefully that'll work. And then for everyone else, I wanted to just go to small streamers, stream, and while streaming, and ask them to demo the product for free. I think this could be fun. I think we'll just do that to a bunch, because like that's our target audience, right? That's who we want to have test it, and we'll just see how it goes. Third is just, MONDAI podcast. Can I actually get this to work for what I wanted to use it for in the first place, which is talking to the co-host. So we'll see. We'll see, chat. I still hear some fuzzing. I'm sorry. I might have to get a new mic. We'll see. Which sucks, because this is like 4 months old. So TBD. Yeah, I'm not sure what's up. Anyway, let's do this. Let's start with the rest of our items here. So what we did was we applied our SQL file in Supabase. Basically, I selected this, copied the SQL it generated, and went to SQL editor in our project in Supabase, copied everything and ran it. We got success, no rows returned, which is what you want to see. And if this was like a production app, like that's not vibe coded, like I would obviously look through all the SQL to make sure that it's not sketchy, or at least, call out stuff that might be sketchy or whatever. But we're in vibe code mode, chat. And this is just net new creation, greenfield, all the words. And so that's why we're just vibing with it. Okay, so it says you were right to ask. Capital, right? Love that. Okay, so basically, based on the API costs, if those prices were too low, we would have gotten clobbered. So, I don't know, 20% margin seems reasonable for the service. 1924 and 119. That makes sense. Okay. So we added our SQL, updated the guide, and then next steps. What you need to do. Oh, thanks, bud. Okay, follow this guide. So I'll show you how to create products in Stripe. Let me just confirm that we're not on a sensitive, or it doesn't show it. Holy shit. Oh, I think those were tests. Okay. So here's our Stripe dashboard. You know how like everybody shows their Stripe version on you don't see the whole key chat, and also this is a sandbox, by the way. So really good way to test if it works is create a sandbox. Sandbox is kind of the new testing mode that they used to have. But I'll get rid of those anyway. This is the basically like the screenshot that everybody shows, except without the X or Y axes. On X as like, yo, check out my like ultra fast growing thing, sick. But anyway, how you get to your products is go to product catalog on the left here. You can see these are the ones that we currently have that are in need of some update with our new way to think about it. So let's pull those in. I'll hate that. Okay, so let's go back down here. Doc setup, create Stripe products. Already in it? Okay. Shit, chat. I'm sorry about this audio. I hate that. Hopefully this will... Yeah, I don't know. It has to be the mic. So, I mean, I'll try to restart maybe, but either way, let's keep bumping for a little bit longer, and then if it gets out of hand, we'll throw a restart, okay? All right, so basically we're going to follow this guide. So it says to go to test mode, which test mode is the old version of Sandbox, so we're going to be doing Sandbox. One sec, chat. I wonder if it's these. If you ever remove that side panel, by the way, and want to get it back, it's under View, Appearance, Secondary Sidebar, and then you can bring it back. Oh my god. We'll keep bumping. Okay, so it says add product, product information, HostFabric platform solo. Which, is that a good name for a product if you're going to be bringing in a co-host? I don't think so. So, return. Is this a good name for a product that literally brings in a co-host? Think of a better version of this. And normally this is a question I would ask ChatGPT instead of Claude, but Claude's been getting pretty good lately too, so we'll see what it comes up with, and hopefully it's better. Bum, 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 bum. How's everyone's Sunday going? You guys having fun today? Do anything cool yet? It's kind of just chill, relax mode. All of which are good options. Okay, so on Codex. Okay, so what was it trucking with? API live transcripts now verifies HMAC signed ingest tokens final jobs. By the way, if you guys haven't heard of Harry Mack on YouTube, that dude is insane. He has some he basically will get 5 random words from an audience and put them into a real-time flow that's just it's insane. It's so good. I mean, he can just come up with bars on the fly about anything. He'll ask for the hardest words and just run with it. Super, super crazy cool. So highly recommend checking out Harry Mack, which is what reminded me of that. So it says, see the new token helpers here. Okay. Plus the tighter route logic. Audio ingest service mirrors the security by enforcing ingest token. Good. So that's basically what we were doing before on our overlay page. Before it spawns FFmpeg and by forwarding both partial and final transcripts for captioning. Document the new secrets while Appendix C now spells out the token plus health wiring. Okay. Partial captions now flow everywhere. Event schema includes the new transcript partial. Okay, cool. I'm good with that. Next up, expose ingest token issuers in the control setup UI to streamers so they can copy and paste valid stream keys and to hook up the browser capture feedback described in Appendix A to the new health endpoint. So we auto offer backup capture. Looks good. Make sure you are updating the MD doc as you go. And also remember to document how the streamer in both local for the developers, also on the website, as to where the streamer adds this new key in the various streaming services / platform. Okay. Let it cook, chat. Okay. Great catch. You're absolutely right. Platform solo is too technical and doesn't convey that you're getting an AI co-host. Let me suggest better alternatives. 1. HostFabric solo. 1 AI co-host recommended. Okay. HostFabric, your first AI co-host. HostFabric starter. Single AI co-host. Sorry, chat. Honestly, I don't know which one. Which one do you like best, chat? HostFabric 1. AI streaming companion. Solo stream assistant. Your AI sidekick. Ooh. I like the usability of those. which one conveys the most value? It's a tightrope because like you want it to be like self-contained value, right? Because I think most people will just choose this option as a way to, add that functionality. And like a co-host, like I think there's specific use cases for it that, my use case, right, for Monday, like I want to have a debate with multiple models and multiple, at the same time streaming back and forth. But I think most people are going to want to use this as just having a homie on the screen like this as you go. By the way, the other thing I did, I don't know if I like this yet. We'll keep an eye. I got to simplify it, but anyway, I kind of reset this screen and the UX is shitty, but we'll get it better. To just include it or like kind of start with that as the first option. I'm defaulting it to ChatGPT just cause, but maybe it can say select your select your model you wanted to use as the first. Actually, I like that. And then the rest are BYOK, like bring your own key. I don't know if people know what BYOK means, so I might just say like use an API key or something to simplify that. But let's add this to the list. Allow the user to select which model AI co-host from the beginning for their test account, and the rest will be BYOK. Also update BYOK to okay, we'll see how that goes. But yeah, now you can I also made the avatar size a lot easier to adjust, like so you can make it real big, which I think is kind of cool. And let's test that, chat. Let's throw that in here. I'm opening my overlay on the OBS, which is this, and then this. So let's see what we get. Yo, chat. Let's go. Big homie. That's kind of sick. Okay, I'm going to bring it back here with that other URL as well. Maybe. Refresh. Yeah, okay. I don't like that it's in the corner, but that's really cool. All right, should we check some of the speech to text stuff from before? One sec, chat. Okay, so ideally, Codex is in the process of updating all this. Perfect. One sec, chat. Okay, so that's good. Now our server, we're going to restart that quick, and then I'm going to do the text-to-speech functionality here. So I know you can't see that yet, and actually maybe for this one, let's let's switch the scene back to the other one, and then we'll do this one as a way to test the the live back and forth as we go forward. So let's go to here. You can see the live scene. And then this is our new version of our speech to text. Actually, where is it? ChatGPT looks massive. You'd love to see it. Okay, cool. So it does have listening and audio mode. So what that means is that it should be... Oh, we can't yet. So I think we got to push this update first and then run it once it's in Vercel, I think is what's happening. But let's see here quick. So, hey bud, can you hear this? Chat. It cannot. You'd love to see it. Okay, so we're going to reload our page here.
You can type a description, paste a transcript, or share a link to the audio and I'll analyze or summarize it. I can't actually hear audio. I don't have ears, but I can help if you describe what you're hearing. Want to tell me what it sounds like right now? Okay. Okay. Interesting chat. Okay, so a couple things. A, we saw it kind of working. Love that. B, it maintains the page even between scenes, which I was super worried about. Like if you had to switch scenes and then all of a sudden you have to like go back and test or refresh this every time, that would have been a terrible user experience. So I'm really glad that that got fixed. 3 is, so this is, I'll make it more smaller. So this is the, this is the grid view. So that's why I put it in the top left like that, as you can see. So let's just go one of these that's centered. Circle would work. Center row. Let's just use center row. It's a way to simplify that. Horizontal center. And we want the big boy mode. And then safe areas. We'll take some out of there. It doesn't need vertical spacing or horizontal spacing if there's only one of them. So I think that's cool. We'll bring in all 4 of these now again just to test, but we'll see what that looks like. So again, I'm going to take our browser source here, update that URL, paste it in here. Okay. Interesting. Horizontal center. So it's not centering it. That's trouble. Let's try our circle version. No. Okay. These are good things to test, chat. Game streamers. Okay. Let's try this one. Okay, not ideal. So we'll have to just do a pass on all of these to see how to Make sure it's centered, like, or make sure it's actually in the content that where we want it. Looks like it's not quite there, but this one I think has the one below it. Yeah. Okay, so let's test this. It'll probably get cut off again down here, but let's just get over and test that here. So let's do a text-to-speech again. Happy Sunday. Are you ready to start the MONDAI stream tomorrow? Chat, let's go.
I can prep an intro, talking points, and moderation cues. Want me to draft those now or wait for any updates? Happy Sunday. Yes. I'm ready to start with you tomorrow. What time should I join and what's the plan for the stream?
You just stay classy, brother. Okay. Let's, as we're doing this, let's do that other test. So it currently has Google Cloud TTS. Let's change it to an 11 Labs voice. Let's try Alice.
Just trust yourself, then you will know how to live.
Preach, Alice. Okay, so we're going to go back. Well, I guess we can try it from this page too. Hey, Alice. Damn. Translation. Okay. Let's see if she comes through.
See you soon. Looking forward to it. Bye.
Chat, that's so good. What are your thoughts on the amount of capital needed for server build out to handle the increase in AI that we're going to have in the next 5 years? Cool. I was clicking on the wrong thing. Again, this is one of the reasons, chat, why it's going to be important that we can either do it auto through some of these settings or text-to-speech where we figure out how to not have to have this open because what just happened is going to be annoying for everybody. So my push to talk button is backtick, so like the button just below escape. And I did that, but I was in my Streamlabs desktop window instead of this window, so I couldn't get the speech to text to work. So that's what we're solving for by the other thing that we just implemented yesterday, or in the process of implementing. What are your thoughts on the amount of CapEx needed for server build-outs using AI as the impetus to do so? Shit. Chat.
Which model do you want to start with? Or drop a task, summarize code, creative, and I'll run each one through it. All right, folks, today we're testing HostGPT, Claude, Gemini, and Grok live. I'll run quick demos and compare strengths.
Okay. She's cooking. It's cooking. Let's try a couple different avatars now too. Okay, let's try this one. And then we'll go back to our overlay page. Yeah, let's see if we can get this one in a better spot. Let's fix this because currently it's putting it on the other one. Okay, so project spec. No, one at a time. This is what's hard because there's like so many moving things that you want to fix at the same time, chat. But for this one, let's say our our overlay for the, oh yeah, also I'll show you how to use the browser today. It's pretty cool. It actually does like agentically click things on the browser to test
and it was like running into an issue yesterday where it said, I don't have credentials to log in. I said, use this testing account. It's like, cool. And it went back to the login page, logged in, and then did the test to solve the problem we were having. So I'll show you how to do it. I do think it's really computer intensive. So I don't know how much of it is on your computer versus in the cloud, but it seemed to lag cursor quite a bit. So that could be what's causing some issues today too. But our overlay for for all of these only puts the single co-host in the top left corner, text to the right on the overlay page for the stream. See, let's get some text in here. Let's go to here, say, hi, how are you? This is working.
You're welcome. Glad to help. Anything else you'd like me to prep for the stream? I can draft an intro, talking points, and moderation cues now if you want, or wait for any updates.
Okay. Again, don't get prescriptive on this because I have an idea of what it is to fix this, but I don't want to get, oh, can't see. Don't get prescriptive on the fixes for your updates here, chat. Just let the vibes vibe. And yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure I know what the issues are, but lately, really lately, like probably within the last month, I've noticed that like it's just been doing that. Hey, what's up, Sharon? How you doing? Happy Sunday. Hope you're having a great day. We are vibe coding this AI co-host situation and trying to get these to play nice with OBS and Streamlabs and all the fun with that. So it's an adventure for sure, but we're getting there. How's your Sunday going so far? Let's see. Okay, we'll just stick them up here for now. Meantime, let's go to here. HostFabric solo. I guess this is good just if the description is right next to the name, because it still conveys like good amount. It gives them the option of choice or like optionality to do more if they want. And I think that makes sense. So which naming option you prefer? Yeah, okay. Let's run with this. Update the MD doc and SQL for this, as well as instructions for Stripe. Okay, cool. So, and then Codex was still trucking on the updates. I'm going to say I previously the updates to the speech to text widget in the corner, but now do not see the option for
instead just the push button option. I don't know if that's a setting or something that's somewhere, but we gotta restart our server. So I'm gonna do that here. And then go back. And sorry for the scratchy audio chat. Working on trying to get that to work nice with my mic has been a super big pain in the ass. Okay. Let's see. Where would we find that? I think it must be the headphones or the mic. Like there's no other, because I swapped the cord out 4 times. This is a new cord, newish headphones, but I don't know. So maybe tomorrow I'll overnight a mic. It's a cheap version, so we'll give it a test. One thing here with this is that you'll notice that our server keeps going down, our local node server. Basically that's because some of the changes that Codex is making are basically conflicting with the cached version of the compiled version of the server. And so usually if that happens more than like twice per kind of run, if you will, then I'll just wait till it's done cooking and then go back to Control C, up arrow, enter, which is just running npm run dev. We used to use pnpm. We're switching to npm just because it plays nicer in the sandbox with Vercel. And it seems to be working pretty well so far. So, or this, that's great too. So again, it's just configuring like tsconfig.json, which will inevitably, give you like a 500 error or like end of file errors kind of thing. So if it's a simple like UX change, a lot of times it can just hot reload. But if it's kind of some of these core files that it's updating and changing, you're going to have to restart the server. Okay, so let's see where Claude is at here. Okay, so perfect. Let me create a comprehensive implementation checklist and then work through it systematically. Okay, updated our checklist. Good, good. 75 items across 9 phases. God bless. Okay. Okay. Love it. Okay. Chat okay. So that looks good. Let's go back to our server and check that. Hey, chat, look at it. So now it's centered, as you can see here. Oops, as you can't see here. Sorry. Okay. Oh my god. Okay, so you can see it's centered in a good way, which we love. Let's go to this one. And put that like that. And then let's test it. I'll bring the window over to this side. Hey, how's it going today? It just said yeah.
Cool. Want to dive into something specific or just chat? I can help with topics, ideas, troubleshooting, or random banter. Which sounds good?
I'm not sure why it picked up the other voice, or why it didn't save from our last voice configuration. Let me switch it to 11 Labs. And we'll use Callum. Testing. Hi. Got high. Okay. So that, I think that means that there's still an issue with the like combining the different chunks of text that we're sending it over time.
With something, or just hang out and chat. Hey, nice to see you. I'm HostFabric. How's it going?
Fabric. Okay, so that's cool, but also HostFabric, what? Why are we getting like 6 lines of text when you're only talking about 2 of them? So let's jump back to this. Throw that over there. And since Claude was Codex was working on this end to end, we'll ask. So I'm going to do Control V because you can paste with Control V with images on Codex, Alt V for images on Claude, and then Control V for text on Claude, and then right click for text on Codex, CLI. So say the model / co-host produced 5 replies, but only spoke for 2 of them. And then, okay, I think we might have to restart Claude. Sometimes this happens. Like if you don't see the end of the line, or end of the CLI, you do Control C, you can try escape. And if neither of those work, you just Control C a few more times. And if that doesn't work, it means it's real broken. So that's cool. We're going to close it. And then add a new terminal. Sorry. Add a split terminal, just so it's easy to see all 3 of them. Claude is the middle child, so we're going to put Claude back in the middle. And then just check to confirm which model we're using. 4, 5. Okay, cool. And so you notice that we did it in YOLO mode, which is the dangerously skip permissions. It's if you watch it close enough, chat, it's fine. Just don't tell it to create Skynet, please. You were in the process. Check to see the process of our updates to the Stripe products with the single co-host product most likely to be selected. Check the MD doc for how far in the process we are, and then also what are next steps. So you don't tell it to like say you were working on this. I mean, you can, and it sometimes can read, if it can read like its previous chats, like sometimes over here, right? Like on, especially in cursor, if you do like the @ symbol, you can see, where is it? Usually there's some version of like chat on here. Anyway, so you can reference previous chats, which it'll basically summarize those and like continue the context going forward. But if it's something like a CLI where I don't know if it can do that, I don't think it can. then you just say like, hey, this is where we're at. Do these things for the next steps, and then see where we're going from there. So it said we did our SQL migration. Yep. We ran that. Added selected agents column to subscriptions table. Good. Updated our backend code. Good, good. Okay, next steps. Run the migration in Supabase. Chat, I'm 90% sure we already did this, but let's rerun it just to confirm. So I'm going to go to Supabase and basically paste in the code to our SQL editor. By the way, if you haven't used Supabase, it's a great Postgres database. Basically built on AWS, but it's a really good, simple way to do it. You can get some integrations like your authentication. So now, since we have our Google and Twitch buttons on sign up or login, it just gives you these providers out of the box. Like you just basically put in your secret key, your ID, like ID of the whatever flavor it uses. Usually it's like some combination of two of those for app ID or something. And then you can basically just have a button to log in with those providers on your website, and you're done. It's amazingly simple. Highly recommend to do so. And then let's go back here and say, okay, so we ran that. We know that. That's good. So now let's go to our Stripe dashboard. It's one of these. Okay. So notice that we're using a sandbox for testing. Sandbox is the new test mode, right? So it says, remember, test mode has moved. You can actually do the old test mode, but sandbox is just a simpler way to do it. By the way, chat, I'm going to remove these keys before, or reswap them out. Plus, this is a sandbox, so keep that in mind. So these are the current products that are in Stripe. I think we're going to swap those out with, or just add these three at least. So platform solo. AI co-host of choice, 3,000 messages a month. 14, I thought we went to 19. For this. I'm pretty sure this should be 19 because we did some math, and based on like average user amount and then like speech to text and text to speech costs that we incur, it's going to be tricky on the margin side. So you'd rather just if the product is good enough, price it how it should be priced, and I think that's still a pretty helpful way to do it. So we'll see about that. But in the meantime, let's go to here. If you open control panel, thanks for the screenshot. It helped narrow this down. Here's what's behind the scenes. Each time the agent plans a beat, we immediately broadcast a text preview event. So the overlay log can show the line while TTS is still being generated. When TTS finishes, we call in queue playback, which fires the speak start event that eventually drives audio. If you run the audio only, the first two beats made it through. The other three hit the quota guard. Okay. Cool. So say through before we could in queue playback, we still show the text preview, which is why the log shows 5 lines even though there's only 2. Okay. If you open control agent errors, you should see the corresponding TTS quote exceeded, Supabase creds missing message from ChatGPT. Until your plan/add-on has more TTS headroom, or Supa Bass is configured in dev, the orchestrator will keep dropping audio after the quota check. Planning 2 follow-ups. Surface the quota messages inline in the control panel voice console so you don't have to scroll down to the agent error list. Okay. And then only emit the preview log once the beat actually enters playback. When we know that the text-to-speech succeeded, or replace the preview with a clear muted badge if TTS fails. Neither of these solves the underlying issue. What are we doing about that? Yeah, those are just kind of band-aids. Okay, so current state here. Good catch. Looking through the search results, I can see the current implementation is 19, but some documentation still references the old 14. Okay. Yes. Update. Outdated documentation to reflect 19. And also give me a list of what's next. I ran the sequel, but if it used the old 14 version, update again, update it to reflect the 19, and give me a list what's next to implement in Stripe. Cool, cool, cool. Okay, so it works for this one. Now let's say review all the other, what do we call these? Layout presets. Overlay page. Make sure they all have these fixes applied. All right, chat. Might be time for a little, a little nicotine. Zen gonna zen. Okay. I swear it just keeps me awake. I've been doing Celsius in the morning. I go back and forth because I have a coffee shop now that I love. Like, it's like my Cheers coffee shop. They're super awesome. Dogwood Coffee, by the way, if you're in Minneapolis and St. Paul, like, super chill people. Love the atmosphere, and the baristas are amazing as well. But I go back and forth between that and Celsius because you can't kind of double up on a coffee and a Celsius, so, or at least I try not to. I never do anymore, because that's just asking to stay up for too long, and then your next day sucks, and it's not fun. So it's a good problem to have, but anyway, went with Celsius today, so a little more awake. And yeah, hope you're also awake, or if you're not, thanks for having the stream on in the background. Appreciate you. There was actually a so Burnt Peanut, PE Cooper and I were talking about him the other day. He's a streamer. He's kind of like the new hotness in streaming, like, but super chill dude, and like, just, I don't know, a lot of original ideas, and I think it's kind of shaking things up a little bit, which I love. And one of the things that he said on one of his streams was like, literally most of the people that watch his like YouTube videos fall asleep with it on in the background, and so like usually like 4,000 to 5,000 of his followers that are watching the stream at any given time in the nighttime are just people that fell asleep with YouTube on in the background. And I guess this is also like, some people can like target the algorithm to just autoplay other videos, if people fall asleep. And so, dead internet theory is also maybe like sleeping human theory of like, watch time and different algo interesting points on that. So it's kind of fun. But I say that to say thank you for joining, Chad. If you're here or you're sleeping, grateful for you. All right, so let's see what Claude says here. Perfect. The migration SQL is correct with 19. Good, good. Next steps, go to Stripe and create. Okay, so let's do that. Also, let's switch up the music because I've been playing this playlist like 4 streams in a row now. It's kind of getting... Copyright-free, DMCA-free lo-fi, and chill hop music for streamers, creators, and influencers. Volume 4. Wow. That is a title. Kind of a vibe. I really wish I could just play regular music, chat. That kills me. Yeah, this will work. Okay. Let's see, what else are we gonna do? First, one thing that I noticed that kind of... So I'm going to go to one of these intermission screens with co-host to just see this a little bit more clearly. I do like that it's the like see-through text version of this, but like we got to get our listening thing fixed up. So let's paste this into here and say, oops, back to live scene. We're learning, chat. We're learning. Seeing this on the overlay page within the stream. Yes, browser. There's Streamlabs, browser viewer. Remove or have match the text version below the avatar in I don't know what the word is, like look and feel and transparency, but hopefully it'll just do that. So if you ever see it just stuck on something like this, like our build, just hit cancel and go to the next thing. And then obviously we're going to get a fun error because it took forever, but we're just going to say send now, and it'll just kick off the next thing that it's working on. Okay, in the meantime, let's go to Stripe, add some products. Okay, so it says you're testing in a sandbox, right? Changes you make here don't affect your live product. So that's what we want. And then I'm going to move this over here so I can just copy and paste out of there. Okay. HostFabric platform solo. It sucks to copy out of... Actually, that's a good point. One sec, chat. So it sucks to copy out of the terminal. So I'm just going to paste all that into my text editor, and this is a lot easier to grab. Actually, let's do this. Okay. So this is our first product. This is our description. one AI co-host with 3,000 messages per month. Price is 19. Metadata is this. So metadata is under, I believe, more pricing options. I think it's a lookup key. You can pass a lookup key when you create a price. Okay. So let's see if we can do this as multiple or if we just gotta paste them in as like comma separated. Okay, let's try that. And we have our new product, chat. So let's go to create product again. We're going to do the Duo and the Pro. $24. I don't know if it should be 24 or 29. We'll do 24 to start. We're going to go look up keys, add them here. Gonna add in some commas. Go to next. Okay. And then finally our Pro version, which is all of them. At 119, which is aggressive, but sometimes it's good to have like product discipline around like how much things cost, or pricing discipline rather, and having a big number like this. There's this thing it's usually in negotiations, but it's also in pricing called anchoring, where if you anchor somebody in a large price, like that's where their mind goes. It's like, holy shit, there's this much value in this thing. But also there's, I don't want to do that. I mean, some people might, but most people always choose the middle or default option. And so like if we can kind of funnel them into that option or optionality and choice, like it's still a hell of a deal, right? Like between these, like that's actually insane. And our margins could be a lot higher, but I don't want that. I want to keep it like useful and helpful and actually help people grow. So that's where we're at with that. I mean, obviously, like it's a business, like we want to make money. This isn't going to be a nonprofit, right? But like being sensitive to that and showing like that you're not trying to gouge people, it's like actual value of the platform, then you can start getting your product pricing aligned to that. Okay, so we added those, good. Now it says you've already added your Stripe Price Platform Pro in your env.local, but verify it's set to this. So I'm going to check that quick, chat. I would show you, but env.local has all the things, APIs in it. I'm trying to minimize the amount of those that we show. So let's go to that. Search for this. Okay. I'm just gonna... Okay, it's not set at that. So what we're gonna do is go to this and say edit product. Not edit product. Go to this and get our product ID here. So we're going to copy this and I'm going to paste that into the Pro version. Okay. And then we do that for each of our other products. So after creating each product, Stripe gives you a price ID like this. Price, well, whatever, which we're seeing here. And it says, please add these lines. So we want to do one for price platform solo, which should be on one line. And yeah, so let's add these. Actually, one sec, chat. I'm going to close my blinds. It's getting me in the eye. Okay. So back to here. I'm going to add those to our Stripe price add-on. And then go back to here. Get our other two products, Duo. Grab our ID, paste it in. And then products, solo, copy, paste. All right, then we're going to restart our server. Okay, I'm going to close that. Close that. All right, then restart the server. Set up a Stripe webhook listener. For local testing, use Stripe CLI. Okay, cool. So now, chat, we're going to say we updated the products in Stripe. Confirmed the SQL was run. And restarted the server. It's also weird to type. I'm at an angle here. I should move this over, actually. That's a me problem, chat. Okay. There we go. Restarted the server. Run the Stripe CLI locally and confirm these changes are applied. Okay. This was working on applying our fixes to the overlay page to the other modules. Okay, great. Now, this one was... Oh yeah, we told it, you're right, surfacing UI warnings doesn't in fact change that the bot skipped these 3 beats. The root cause is this. The say function bails out as soon as check its quota says no. Try to make me go to rehab. Which means anything beyond the first 1 to 2,000 characters on a free account or whenever Supabase isn't reporting usage correctly gets dropped before we never enqueue audio. The overlay still shows text preview events, so if you have 5 bubbles even though that only 2 beats made it through TTS, here's the fix. Make quota failure soft, not hard. I'm updating this so we continue generating audio even when the API keys no. We'll log the coverage and fire a control panel warning, but we won't throw and skip speech. That guarantees every beat that hits the orchestrator produces a speak start, so the overlay can't get out of sync. We add explicit instrumentation. When a quota warning fires, we'll emit a structured error event and a toast. Toast is like the notification system, chat. Warning fires will end a structured error event and the toast in control, so you can see exactly which beat exceeded the allowance instead of guessing why it was only silent. And we re-enable the hard enforcement later once the billing plus UI flow exists to show the remaining TTS in upsell, blah, blah, blah. We'll switch back to the hard enforcement only after there's a clear UX to keep the streamer from tripping over it mid-show. Hell yeah. I'll push the quota softening plus telemetry today so you get every beat again. I love it. Make it so. use best practices. All right, so Claude. No packager manager found. I'll help you install Stripe CLI in a moment. But first, let me verify the other changes. Okay, great. I can see new price IDs have been added. Critical issue found. Yeah, those were the old ones. Price IDs. Oh, actually, hold on. Maybe this is my bad. Hold, please. Okay. Yep. Okay. It was right. I accidentally added the prod version instead of the price version. So to do that, we go to here, and then let's click on our new ones. Where's the pricing? Okay, so it says click on HostFabric Platform Solo under pricing. Okay. You'll see the monthly price. Click the triple dots. Copy price ID. Okay, cool. So use price ID instead of product ID, chat. So this one's for Pro. Cool. Duo. Triple dot. Copy price ID. Cool. And solo. I don't think these are like important for not to showing part, but if they are, I'll swap all these out before the end of the night. So we'll see, chat. Okay, so I made those changes. Closed. Okay. All right, so back to here. We made these changes. Save them to env.local. We'll have to also have to save them to our environment variables on Vercel. So let me make a note to remember that. Update environment variables. Okay. Repeat for this. Okay. Made the changes to use the correct pricing API key in .env.local. Now install the CLI and run to test. Let's see how it does. Okay. ChatGPT says, quota misses no longer silence the bot. I changed this to accept on quota warning callback. Merely log in plus invoke a callback when it says no instead of throwing. In the orchestrator, I pass a callback that broadcasts a single warning per agent/room and still enqueues the broadcast, or still enqueues the beat. So every text preview now gets a matching speak start that gives you audio on all 5 replies while servicing a control panel warning if you actually exhaust the TTS credits. Okay, let's test the chat. I'm going to restart the server. And then go back to here, go to here. Hello, how's it going today? Fuck. Nope.
Need anything else or shall we move on? You're welcome. Glad to help.
Scrapped it as please review the STT process. Okay. Well, bummer, but also we're getting closer, chat. Also, let's test a couple of these other ones. So this is one of the, so you notice that Homie changed after we made that update. Also notice another issue. Still seeing a black box surrounding the container. Okay. Okay, so we have the new version, so we have neon selected, which it shows up here as neon, which we love. But let's see here. Okay, so I sent one manually through the text, and let's see if it. Okay, so give me your hottest take on the microtransaction games. That's good. Still have our black box.
Microtransactions can really enhance games if done right, but they often feel more like a cash grab. When they're cosmetic, it's usually fine, but pay-to-win models can ruin the experience for many players.
Okay, so chat, do you spot the 2 errors that we are hopefully, or we thought we just fixed, but we still see? I'll give you a sec. Hell yeah, Sharon. Sharon's also coding alongside. Love that. What are you working on? Anything fun? I remember we had a space maybe a month ago where you were telling Alex and I about a really cool project that you had in kind of that audio space too. So would love if you have any tips or tricks on how to do things more effectively or efficiently, please let me know. And everybody, Sharon also hosts some amazing AI spaces on X. So if you haven't followed her, go do that and get some awesome alpha out of that because she's a rock star. So, okay, so the issues I'm seeing. One is this is still showing this black box around here. That's easy. You can just keep hacking away on that. But number 2, it said that it was going to do a soft limit instead of a hard limit on the TTS token. So instead of having only like 2 answers, it's gonna, basically soft cap it and give us all 5 of these responses. 3, 4, 5, but it didn't do that. So that is what we're gonna check next. So we're gonna just screenshot this, go back to here, go to here. Okay, it's still trucking. By the way, this is the interface that it came up with on the voice control now. So it has both our live listening version. So this is where we have to add the dual RTMP settings in OBS. So we'll test that in a little bit here. I don't even know how that's going to work, but hopefully it'll be a simple way to do that. And then second, we're just going to do test the text-to-speech button capabilities part of this. So we'll do both of those, but in the meantime, we also want to say, no, this is still seeing the black box surrounding it. Review how we are implementing so I'm going to go to this page, which shows this in an easier way. I'm just going to copy this screenshot and then go back here. How it's implementing the text and avatar, which does not have the black box surrounding them. And then so usually it's just the combination of the screenshot plus telling it how to do, or like what to look for where it's working, is a simple way to hopefully get it to do so. Okay, so ChatGPT is still tracking, but let's check in on Claude here. She says, thank you. LOL. I'm working on a sign-on page and a dashboard. Awesome. Very cool. What's been your favorite vibe coding partner of choice of late? Are you kind of mix and match? Are you team ChatGPT, Codex? Are you Claude, Cursor? What's your go-to of late? So Claude here says, so it made some fixes on our 3 new pricing models. All pricing is now correct. Let me run a test script to verify the checkout functionality works. Perfect. We'd love to see it. Okay, Platform Solo, Platform Duo, HostFabric Pro, Claude add-on, select. Okay, I'm not sure why it just did Claude. Well, I know why Claude just did Claude, right? Little self-preferential there, bud. Environment variables. So we added these to our env.local file. We're going to add them to Vercel before we push our changes. By the way, chat, we also, so all these changes, anytime we make a push to GitHub, we have Vercel auto deploying. So when we push these, we're going to want to do these before, otherwise it's going to break the deployment in doing so. So Stripe products are all there. Backend code is there, allegedly, and then ready for testing. Oh, 4242. We use this many times, chat. Okay, so it says to go to this billing page.
Ooh, interesting. Okay, chat. So this is the browser that you can now call in cursor, by the way. So if you see here, actually it's weird that it's still off, but so we're gonna go to browser tab browser tab. And then if you want to call that, you can't do it from the CLI because it just doesn't. Actually, I haven't tested that. Let me see if you can. Here, you just do at browser. Sorry, at browser. And then it will agentically kind of go through the page to test these things. Well, let's see if we can do it. I don't think you can do it. Yeah. So the only reason I thought it might be is because Cloud Code actually has its own plugin. So I thought you could maybe have access to that, but apparently not. Okay. Bummer. Would you like me to help you with? Yes. Do all three. Okay. Also, we can do that ourselves through this. Let's copy that link. Go to our billing page. And then okay, so it's going to have to update all the billing page. I'm gonna just let it do its thing on these first because I want the CLI to get installed and everything, but then I'm gonna do a compact and then we'll do this. So let's delete this for now. Copy it into our scratch pad so we don't forget it. Or don't, that's good too. Delete everything. We'll just compact it to make sure that it doesn't run out of context for it. Okay. You were hearing thank you because the ingest feed was dutifully picking up the AI's own TTS audio. It carries the full program mix. Oh shit. And then handing it to the orchestrator. It took a holistic pass through the pipeline and made two concrete fixes. Echo-aware transcript filtering. Each time we enqueue TTS, we now drop the sanitized text into AI utterance registry. When AI live transcripts receive the final transcripts from DeepGram, it compares it against the recent AI utterances, which is a simple, obviously chat is a simple Levenstein similarity with TTL, and silently discards any matches. That keeps the AI from hearing itself, even if the RTMP tab contains the entire program mix. Damn. Chat, we're cooking. Docs updated to note echo suppression. Appendix C now explicitly mentions that we drop self echo transcripts so it's clear that the ingest system tolerates the mixed audio feed. Okay. Also reran npm lin to make sure everything's clean. Beautiful, bud. Okay, so let's test that. Refresh. What the fuck? No, where'd it go? So weird. Okay, so if you see here, chat. Oh, interesting. Okay, so the issue, chat, is that we only get our sexy new speech-to-text widget on our panel page or control page. So we'll have to tell it to update that for all the other pages. Only seeing the updated widget on the right-click or paste into ChatGPT, Codex, CLI page. And on the others, seeing the old version. Okay.
All right. So these guys are going to be cooking for a minute here. I'm going to run to the bathroom chat. I'm going to throw it on the BRB screen. Hopefully the audio is moderately okay in the meantime. And I'll check the audio on, after that too, just to see if it's, because I'm hearing a little scratch, but not too bad. So hopefully that's okay on your end too. All right. Appreciate you, chat. Talk soon. All right, chat. We are back. Thank you for hanging out today. Truly appreciate you guys. Yeah, so we got Claude that was trucking on our okay, so it made some test scripts, which are all in our scripts directory, which is this. Okay, and it's created these, and if you see these blue ones, that means that these are the new ones that have happened since your last push to your version control system of choice. Most people use GitHub. U means new ones, M is modified. So, not sure why it's U, or maybe it's untracked. So these are the ones that it's not currently tracking because it's a new file, right? So it doesn't have anything to track against. Whereas the ones that are M, you can see here, this left one is the old version. And by old, I mean just like the version before we made our updates to it in this push. And then the green stuff on the right here is the stuff that it added. If it's red, then that means it took it out So you can see here on our Cloud MD, it updated our pricing model to remove the stuff that's in red here and then replace it with the stuff that's in green here. So that's how you can check your pricing or what was updated and changed in your file. And then if you need to see like where else anything was changed in the file itself, you can see on the far right here, you can just find out where there was red or where there's green. And you can see multiple spots where your file is updated. Helpful for like if you need to understand where stuff is at in here to do so. Okay, so let's see what else it said. Test scripts created. I'm going to check the audio just real quick, just to confirm we're back and everything is moderately okay. So hold please. Beautiful chat. We're cooking. 2 streams in a row where it's, well, no. Yesterday was shitty audio. That's why we had to stop. But we're getting better about what it is good, bringing it back. So feeling good about that. Yeah, very cool. One thing I also wanted to add to our list of stuff to change. I don't know why it skips to do, because I was already on it. Cool. Update the size of the browser window. With the new updated resolution, or with the ability to change the resolution and not force 1920 by 1080. Because if you notice here, chat, see how like it's like this is our 1920 by 1080, which is great and works well, but if you have a different screen size or your monitor is not like a 4K monitor or whatever, like you're going to have different sizes for this if you don't want this to be, hella small relative to that. So we should probably give them some optionality where they don't have to only have the 1080p version of this to do so. So we'll see how that works in a minute. Let's go back here. Okay, first we want to test this, and we'll read through the rest of the cloud updates, but I want to see this one quick while I'm thinking about it. And this is covering shit. Okay, so this is the thing that we now have as our new version. We either have the listening live version, which is, I think, happening right now. We should check that and turn this off. Okay, so we're going to test it off to start, and then just test this text-to-speech to see if it's working again, as expected. Oops. Put homie up here. Say, hello. Hello, how are you doing? Dude, it got it, chat.
Doing great, feeling energized and ready to chat. How about you? Anything on your mind or something I can help with?
Okay, love that. Okay, so the speech to text by itself without having this on is working. Let me test a longer sentence. What are your thoughts on the capex needed to have all of these new large-scale infrastructure projects needed to handle the next phase of AI? I mean, that's a hell of a sentence. Let's see if it came through.
Want a quick breakdown of the biggest pain points, cost, energy, supply chain, or some real-world examples of companies doing this? Yep. Scaling for the next phase of AI usually means huge new data centers, major power and cooling upgrades, expanded fiber, backbone networks, and massive deployments of GPUs, TPUs plus storage and orchestration software.
I agree. Okay, so still two issues. It's still not keeping our previous voice that we had saved, so it's not saving 11 Labs voice, and then 11 still too many outputs to only, there's still 5 outputs in text to 2 voice responses, and 12 is the UX what do you call them? Speech, text blocks, the avatar, and text under it. Make more flexible. I think that should just be a broader thing of like, give the user the capability, give the streamer to move and mix and match where the different elements, the overlay page, can go. And let's also check. I can't tell if that's okay. So good. Now our AI muted thing in the top right is still present, but we want to give the user the ability to toggle that on and off. Streamer ability to toggle. Muted. On the overlay. Okay, but the text-to-speech chat, did you, I said a full 14-second sentence and it picked it up flawlessly. So that's amazing. Like that is literally what we want to do. So now let's turn this back on. The thing that I don't know about this, so, and let me ask that before we test again. Turn the AI listening capability or function off and had a flawless 14-second speech to text sent. Great. Now for testing the capabilities. Do I need to update any settings on OBS Streamlabs for the multiple RTMP?
think we do, but I don't know if it told us. And it's probably in one of the MD docs that it created along the way, but I ain't reading all that. So, nice. Well, with AI listening toggled off, we're just using the browser mic, so no extra tinkering is needed. To go hands-free with AI listening on, yes, you or the streamer need to add the second RTP/MP output. So HostFabric gets the program mix continuously. Click quick checklist. Generate the signed stream key. Control setup live audio. Okay, so we can't get to this page. We can't get to the setup once we've already gone through the initial setup flow for the user. We'll see if it can give us a spot for that. I mean, we could just do the setup here. Oh, one sec, chat. Sorry, chat, one sec. Okay. So it's not /setup. It was /something else, but we hopefully don't have to go to that anyway. The newer voice widget CTA was only wired into the talk control slot on controls, so every other wait, we already did that? Right? Reload any control subpage, status, etc. Wait. Am I crazy, chat? Hold please. Okay. Where is the thing that we just asked it to do? Okay, generate the sign key from this. Did we not just literally... I think it's hallucinating. Okay. That might have been on a HostFabric. I don't know what's happening, chat. We'll go back to here and see if it has a link for us, but I didn't see one. So it says under status, complete the setup wizard, but you can still reach it from the control panel sidebar. Click setup. It lives below status settings help.
So we're not seeing that. Okay. I mean, we can technically get it from this token is what we generate to access this page. And it's how we have kind of like almost like an SSO from Streamlabs or from any OBS where we do the browser source here. And that's how we can connect to make sure that it's connected to that room and to that user. And that that key is what gives us the tools to do that. But it's saying that there's a setup for the voice version of this, which we're also going to have to add to OBS and Streamlabs if we want to do that like live back and forth. Which is cool, because that's going to make this hopefully like a flawless, not flawless, but like, oh, setup. Okay, actually, here we go. Do you see this, chat? Maybe I was just a little over exuberant on that. Okay. And so we're getting a 404 because it's pushing us to host AI/this since we're working in our local host. We gotta do that, and let's also change it to HTTP since we don't use HTTPS locally. We can, but we don't. Okay, that's another thing. Okay, sorry about the confusion. That link only shows up when the workspace still has outstanding checklist items. Once a user completes the onboarding setup, the primary now, so the control setup panel stays lean. To go back to these tools, you have two options, redirect URL. So this is okay because any new user will just go through this process. It's saying it's at control/setup. So let's test that. I guess the user will want a spot to do that if they need to update with a new one, right? Like a new key. So we should probably still have that somewhere. But let's just see if this is working. Okay, so again, this is our local browser within Cursor, so we don't want to use that one. I'll show you how it works later, chat. It's actually pretty cool. But for the sake of this, let's just do this. We are testing locally. Turns or gives a 404. Also, won't the user or won't the streamer want to update this periodically? Add a spot on the settings page to update this where it makes more sense. Okay, and sometimes you can just keep it kind of broad, right? Like we're not being super prescriptive. If you have a spot like you want it to put somewhere, like maybe we could have said the voice thing, but we don't want to confuse them about like the voice text-to-speech coming back to us versus the other one going out. So let's just see if that's a good spot for it. In the meantime, let's start knocking off some of these of our to-do list here. There's no really good spot to put this, by the way. Maybe there. Okay. So, SCT mostly fixed. Cool. From beginning of the test accounts, is that Breast will BY okay? I think we fixed that, but we'll test that in a minute. Gotta add environment variables. Yeah. Update the size of the browser. Okay, so let's do some of these. Let's do this one first. Not saving the 11 Labs voice. For stuff like quick one-offs, then I usually just use the cursor-based platforms, even switch this to auto. When changed and page refreshed, it is not Saving. What page is it? Let's go to control. Oh, the whole site's just, oh, well, okay. So that could be some other stuff. Plus, ChatGPT is doing its thing, so it might. But this loaded, so it does do it sometimes. Let's see here. Okay, going to our dashboard. Settings. And I might want to rethink the widget thing here. Instead of like a bottom right thing, maybe it's a full page thing. Also notice that it didn't update it on the settings page. Chat, this is development, right? So not getting the entire speech to text widget on pages outside of the control page. So that'll be one for ChatGPT in a minute here, but voice configuration. Interesting. So it's not saving the URL in the settings page anymore for each one of these individual pages. Usually it'll have like a parameter up here that's like tab equals this. So let's make sure we add that back. Add back. Okay, we'll make sure that's good to go. Just anything, time you see something, just throw it in the list as something to fix. But this was voice configuration. Okay, so let's go back here and say on the voice configuration page. Okay. Let's put Claude on something. Follow the testing guide to verify everything works. Okay, that's a longer thing, so we'll... I remember one of these we wanted to do before compacting. Let's see. So I'm going to compact. Compacting / compact basically takes all the context that you've been working with and shrinks it into a summarized version of it. So then it has a lot more context to use on the next question you have, and it doesn't, especially Claude Code of late, I've noticed like just stops if it hits its cap. Codex actually does a pretty good job of like auto summarizing and then just continuing to do more things. And also on the AI or Cursor's agents have been doing that as better as well. Like if it runs out of context, so like this down here, see it says 32.6% of context used. If it caps out on something, it will just summarize it again and just kind of move forward with it. So that is cool. What was the issue? 2 use effect hooks are conflicting. Okay, cool. So hopefully that'll save. Let's just open that quick. Change this to 11 labs.
Just trust yourself, then you will know how to live.
Hell yeah, Alice. Hell yeah. So we'll save Alice and see if our update works for that. first class live audio tab inside control settings. Okay, so let's go to that. Enable hands-on free listening. Mirror your OBS or Streamlabs program to mix to HostFabric so the AI can hear everything without holding the push-to-talk key. Configure once per channel and toggle AI listening to use the voice console. Okay, cool. Save merge. The live audio tab and the push to talk pages into one view. Remember to keep this simple and the UX of the streamer in mind. Okay, so we'll see. Sharon says, love the Japanese style music and your voice. The topic and everything else is great. More, please. Aw, thanks, Sharon. That's so kind. Appreciate you. Yeah, I'm definitely going to try to keep streaming more often. It's been a fun way to just kind of, I don't know, vibe with it, get people hopefully, able to share tips and tricks on how to do this effectively. And yeah, I mean, it truly was kind of just like a YOLO side project, and now it's kind of a thing. And it's honestly really exciting that it's in a spot where we can test it. And after some of the nerdy technical shit is built, we're gonna this week try to do some of this just show the whole process. Like, what does it mean to make a startup, right? So we're going to do like the Stripe Atlas stuff. We're going to talk through some go-to-market stuff around like how we're thinking about getting this in the hands of people. And then, as we do that, we're going to have to iterate over and over on the product. And so hopefully it's just a fun way to do it. And honestly, it's motivating, right? It's motivating for me to just keep on the project and like how we're doing things, and hopefully it's helpful for everybody. So again, thank you for the kind words. It means a lot. Okay, how's Claude doing today? What do you think, chat? I'm gonna give it a fine so far. It's been okay. But now that the context is a little cleared up, let's go and say to this one. So now that we have models in place, reconcile with the user onboarding / marketing pages to also reflect this update that we want to include. Confirm we are using best practices and make sure to keep this simple. For the streamer. Okay. So that plus, let's see if we have a unified version of this now. Rename the settings tab to voice and listening, and rendered both the push-to-talk configuration and live audio RTMP card within that single view. Okay, we might have to restart the server to see that. Let's do that and refresh. Go to the control page. Go back to settings. Strange. not seeing the update to the menu on this. Still see both old versions. The pages you consolidated. Okay, chat. Let it work on that for a minute. Let's see, what else? So we gotta test the 11 Labs voice again. We'll do that. Actually, that's a separate page, so let's just do that now. And refresh. Still didn't save. So if you notice, we changed it from 11 Labs. We'll use Alice. And it goes back to Google TTS. So let's paste that screenshot and say on reload, it is still reverting back to the Google TTS voice. Browser. Yeah, that's a good one for another agent to use. And chat, let's do this. Actually, this isn't a good use case for it, but yeah, maybe this one. Okay, so what we're going to do, chat, you can see here how it's, this is our page, right, for the, that's in the, in codec, or in cursor, rather. And now, since we have access to that, we can just call it directly from our agents here by saying @browser. And then we can give it a question or a prompt or something like this, give the streamer the capability to move and mix and match where the different elements on the overlay page go. This way we can be a little prescriptive and say, go using our control settings page. Okay, so I'm going to hit enter and watch what it does. I'll move down, or I'll move over homie and myself. Actually, this might be the play. That way you can see everything here. This isn't too important, so we'll see. But, okay, so what it's going to do, it'll look through the code base like it always does, right? To find what the items to update are going to do. And it says create a drag and drop positioning system for overlay elements starting with the necessary components. So it's going to just start creating this. And actually, I don't know if it'll do this, but once it's done with this, then I'll show you where kind of how it will do that. Because it'll actually like be agentic about it. It'll say like, opened up this page, clicked this, moved this, and it'll like take screenshots as it goes. So like it has an understanding of what it looks like and how it processes things, which is actually pretty sick. It's really, really good for like testing UI elements, like testing to confirm like your buttons are working, your toggles work. And the cool thing about it is it's actually getting the all the developer tool items. So like, you know, if you reload the page here, you can see, oh, actually our usage thing is still breaking, so that's good. This is going to reload a couple times because we're cooking in the background, but basically what's cool about that is it will grab all like the console errors as well as the server errors. So you can, you know, point it at this and say, hey, server errors are on here, console errors are on here, do your thing, right? So then it's like agentically just truly trucking on all of the different ways that it can add to it. And it's the future of development, basically, chat. Like that's what's going to do. You just, you know, have it here and say, do this task. And again, like it's already really good, right? Like Codex is good at this, Claude is good at this, and now next up is like this, where you say, give me the browser info, or do all the testing yourself. Here's access to all the errors instead of copying, pasting, and just doing it manually. And there's a couple ways to do this currently. Browser tools gets close to it, but I think this is even more baked. Like it's much better thought out. So after it implements this, and then we'll say test it and fix any issues, and then you'll watch it like go through the actual page here to do so. All right. In the meantime, let's go back to Claude. Claude is very verbose, guys. Okay, issues to fix. BYOK terminology is confusing for streamers. Should be this. Yes, agree. Marketing pages still show that. Okay. Recommended changes. Okay, implementation. I love it. Implement 1 and 2 from the list above, and then test to confirm. And test to confirm. Okay. So then ChatGPT was working on consolidating those. Let's see if it got that right. Okay, so it did. You can see now we have our voice and listening tab here instead of those two separate ones. So push to talk that feels like effortless midstream. Cool. And then choose your thing. And it enables hand-free listening. I actually think that this should be number 1 first. Also, we're still getting the old version of this on the status page. I know we have it saved somewhere here, so just got to remember that's still a thing. All right, so paste this URL into OBS settings output, or Streamlabs custom RTMP. This is too complicated. Got to fix that. So open OBS and Streamlabs to enable a second RTMP. Okay, well, let's try it. So second RTMP output, use the URL above and replace signature with your signed token. What the hell does that mean? Chat. So I'm going to just say, and this is at 20% contact, so we're getting scary low, but let's try one more, and then we'll compact. No, let's compact. ChatGPT is actually much faster at compacting than other ones, so Claude, I swear to God, like once a session goes kind of crazy mode, schizo mode like this, so I think it has something to do with changing the width or pasting when it was doing something else. So hopefully that gets resolved in the next couple fixes here. All right, let's give the streamer the capability to move and mix and match with the different elements on the overlay page, right? Okay, so that's what we wanted to do. It says it updated it to use this API endpoint that we just created, loads overlay positions, supports authenticated sessions and overlay tokens, uses as a post. Perfect. Stores positions in user settings.overlay positions, which is a JSON-B column. Drag and drop component, great. Integration into settings panel. Okay. All right. This feature is ready to use. Streamers can go to this. So go to the overlays tab, edit, click edit positions, drag elements to desired locations, and save. Positions are reapplied automatically when the overlay loads. Cool. So let's do keep all. We're going to copy this SQL. Go back to our Supabase instance, paste it in, run it, probably get an error. No error. Wow. Okay, so actually, since we wanted to test this with the browser, let's say added the SQL to Supabase successfully. Now go to the browser page and test. So we're going to say app browser and see what we get, chat. Okay, so see it says navigated to that page. Pretty cool, right? So it took a screenshot. Now it's scrolling down. Chat, how insane is this? This is like auto-coding V2. So it's editing where edit mode is active. Reset save control buttons. Taking a screenshot to view the positioning canvas. So it's probably going to want to like minimize this, but we'll let it cook. See what happens. Claude is still doing its thing. Love that. Sorry, that's super annoying. Okay. By the way, notice how it's 100% context used and it did that, or it ate it up pretty quickly. So what it's planning next moves, it's actually compacting this, and I think it's going to be able to do that quickly. But I noticed that the stream is lagging by doing that. So it reset its context, it did back to this page, redid the screenshot. Let's see if it can do it. Also, I think this is pretty intensive on your computer, which is why, like, this is a beefy computer, chat, and this is kicking its ass a little bit to do this. So this actually might be a better option to do on like the web server, like the agents, where you kick it off here and you can kick off your agents to the cloud. So then they have to worry about the computer stuff, and it offloads the compute from your computer. But look at that, 3 screenshots. It already used up all the context for whatever model this is using. I'm not sure what it is since it's on auto, but it's still trucking. It's doing the same thing again. Okay, reading the implementation files to understand the drag and drop functionality. If it doesn't do it this time, I'm going to hit stop here just because we're wasting tokens. Found the edit positions button, clicking it to enable the editing mode. Okay. Waited 5 seconds, captured, or 0.5 seconds, captured a screenshot. Editing mode is active. Reset, save, cancel buttons. Searching the preview area for draggable elements. So it's going to do this, hopefully. A couple things we're going to change on the UX of this, but it's close, chat. By the way, thanks to everybody for stopping by. Had 70 people stop in, so grateful for all you guys. If you're new to the stream, welcome. Hope you're having a great day. We are vibe coding a new way for streamers to have an AI co-host as part of their stream. And the onus of this was I wanted to do a podcast with some AI co-hosts, and the tools to do so weren't that helpful, and it was just like YOLO, we ball. And so this is the product of what that's creating. So we're in the process of testing a bunch of different things. This is our list of to-dos. It's kind of ever growing, but it's just part of the development life cycle, chat. Like you gotta keep plugging away. And you also need to know when to stop. And between those two things, I think, so tomorrow will be a really good test. So I'm going to actually do it live on that podcast, Monday, M-O-N-D, or MONDAI. I don't know how to say it yet, but it'll be like the first actual test. So that's why I'm kind of pushing hard. Is like, if we can get this working for that, then I can do a full stream with, the functionality back and forth with the AI co-host. And we'll see if we're able to be successful.
It's kind of a fuck it, we do it live kind of situation, but that's literally what we're doing now here. So, you know, not changing much on that. Let's see over here what happens. So, still going back and forth between this. I think it's going to be kind of in a loop here, chat. Reviewing the overlay settings code to understand the current implementation and what to test. Okay. Okay, we're gonna give it one more screenshot to test, and then if it doesn't work, we're gonna kill it. Wait for it. And it's at full context. Okay, so we're gonna stop that. This was a bad example, chat, but basically, you know, perfect world. And I did see it yesterday do some pretty cool things with it. But apparently this use case isn't the optimal for it yet. So, and I know it's still kind of in, you know, V1 or beta mode. So hopefully that gets a little bit more useful as we go. Second problem, I just noticed. Here, you can see Claude crashed out again. That's sick. So I can't escape, I can't control C, can't enter. So yeah, I don't know. Sometimes that happens. It gets a little too aggro on its what it's trying to do. So what I usually do in this situation is say, here, copy this, you know, close it, add a new terminal, move it back to the middle. I don't know why. Cloud is just middle child vibes, so I'm going to do YOLO mode, which is dangerously skip permissions, and then say you were working on it. And I know it's not good to say like you were working on this because it eats up tokens, but for the sake of this, okay, we're going to go to bypass permissions. By the way, to toggle through those, you just do Shift Tab. You can either do plan mode, which is like gives it, I think it still uses Opus for this, 4.1, and which is still pretty good overall. And it, you know, details like implementation strategy, or if like we have a big fix, like it's really helpful for stuff like that. But for this, we just want to go to bypass permissions on and say review what was implemented from this list of to-dos and what is left to do. So then we're just going to paste in that the stuff that it had in its implementation plan, and then we'll review that and then just keep going from where it left off. ChatGPT, we were working on voice and listening. Oh yeah, this is bullshit. Copy. Okay. It's not working. Love that. I'm just going to paste in that and say, this is a terrible user experience. Add the token or signature automatically, so the user only has to copy that to their OBS. So the streamer
etc. By the way, I was watching Pastelli's stream last night, and he had this tool called MONDAI something. It's dangerous to keep all your tabs. Oh, this is hilarious. The Bill Ackman thing. Uzi had some banger tweets on that. It was hilarious. Okay, ground control. So Stream Elements, who I kind of forgot about, to be honest, but they are amazing. They do really, really cool work. I think their new kind of focus is between getting sponsorship deals for streamers, which is cool, right? Like that's a great use case, and I love that. And it says I think I've added like 4,000 or 40,000 or something. But they're also really good at just like streaming things in general. So like they have an amazing alert system that you can use. Pastelli's broke last night. Like that's the reason why it was interesting, and because he had so many gift subs at one time, like it broke the overlay, which is hilarious. He's such a good dude. It's like if you're gonna be streaming to anybody, or giving to anybody, he's just a super chill guy. He's this Australian old military guy that it streams a lot of Tarkov content and is one of the nicest dudes. Like he's raised over $1 million for charity, for like this kids clinic, and just like I'm really glad that he's winning, because like it's kind of like Mr. Beast, right? Like we're very lucky, chat, that the people that are at the top of the game are actually really decent human beings, and you get some shitty ones along the way, but like for the most part we're showing, especially the people that are watching, like younger people, like incentivizing the right things and doing the right thing to do so. So anyway, really good dude. You go support him. So they have this Streamlabs store where they have like all these different overlays and different aspects of it that are really, really effective. And one of the features he had was what's called ground control, which is basically a way to manage your stream in a simple interface. So I was thinking about reaching out to Stream Elements once we're kind of at our V1 to see if there's any possibilities to include it as part of their tool, because I figured it might as well be, it might be a cool way to think about how we do some go-to-market. So actually, let me make a note for that, to chat about that when we have our go-to-market chat this week. Stream Elements. They are cool. Okay. So back to here. ChatGPT is cooking on our token. Okay, so we pasted this for Claude when it was stalled out earlier. Updating the pricing page with the new tiers, replacing BYOK terminology. Okay, good. So pricing page is done. Cool. So let's go to pricing and check it out. And then also control billing. Should make this a link too. Okay, so it said go to billing. We'll check out that first. Let's go, chat. I mean, definitely some things to fix on the UX, but this is a lot closer. This is a lot closer. I like it. So first let's say to remove this. The billing page looks great. Remove this option. Also, instead of the emoji, use the actual icons for use the actual logos for the different model options. Okay, that's cool. Also, another thing we have to check, I think it said that 5.1 was going to be in the API this week sometime, and it's Sunday, so check to see if ChatGPT 5.1 is in the API. Because there's a version of 5.1 that's like the instant version that's supposed to be pretty quick, and we had actually I've tried 5.0 mini and it's kind of fast, but it's not quite up to snuff, so we actually had to go back to 4.0 for a little bit, which is why I think they actually use 4.0 in their real-time voice. Like if you're talking to ChatGPT in the app, I think it uses 4.0 still. So A, I wonder if that's going to change this week to 5.1, and B, like hopefully we can get some smarter ChatGPT as part of that process as well. Cool. So it's trucking on that, doing that. So that. So our overlay page, actually, before we do that, let's check our pricing page here. Cool. Okay, I think we just want these as the only option for now, and we'll do the BYOK version later. Yeah, we got to simplify. On the pricing page, move the sections, or only keep these for now. We can expose the BYOK versions later. Keep it simple, chat. So it's going to say basically like one of these three options, and then you still get your free trial to see if it works or if you like it. Okay, you were not that helpful, so let's just take out the browser as part of this test. Copy this, open. Yeah, you can tell that's a heavy duty hit to your system, because every time I closed it, like I can hear it in the audio, it gets fuzzy. So we'll have it test that quick and then see. I will say, chat, I am gonna probably peace out at 4:30 here. I gotta do some real life stuff. I mean, this is real life. This is long story, chat, but lot of eggs in this basket right now, let's say. So we'll see. But yeah, hopefully be on later as well. In the meantime, I'm just gonna have everything keep trucking, and once we get to that V1 version, hopefully everything will be ready to go. And yeah, like we need this working for tomorrow's
tomorrow's podcast tomorrow night. So for this MONDAI thing. And so hopefully we get it to a place where it actually works for that. So that was our initial use case. That's what we wanted to do to test this in the first place. And so it'll be a really good test, chat. So ChatGPT updated all of our architecture docs. Stays accurate. Streamer journey has been rewritten. So control settings, voice listening is a single destination for copying the pre-signed RTMP URL, configuring push to talk, always on, and monitoring ingest health, matching the less to do requirement. Good. Component details covers auto distribution of signed keys, the rebuilt speech control UI, the TTS response ACK to prevent silent replies, and a new STT QA troubleshooting section to best practice for latency, listening modes, and regression testing. Good, good. We got some docs out of it. Next steps. Wire the voice and listening copy buttons to the live mint Great. Make it happen. Use best practices. Okay, so it's going to wire the rest of the page together. Let's give a preview of that. It's an old version of the page. It's also concerning that sometimes this takes a while to load. I'm not sure what's up with that, so we'll have to investigate that. But voice and listening still shows the old version. Okay, so that must be what it's working on now. To do so. So let's see here. Pricing page, let's go check that out. Wow. Perfect. Use the actual model logo instead of the emoji. Cool. Simple, simple, simple. You love to see it. And then we want the getting started to all be on the same vertical line. Let's also say that. Sometimes it gets a little bit ahead. Vertically at the bottom of the container. Cool, cool, cool. Okay, so see how it actually, even though I guess once you have it connected here, you can kind of see it's like a little lighter blue. So it's turned on. It must have done it automatically, and so it's when I said added the SQL to Supabase successfully, now go to the browser page and test. And it did so. It went to the control page, settings page, overlay, and then it checked the positioning of it relative to how it's working. The SQL migration is working. Endpoint is working. Overlay page, fetch, load positions correctly for the current layout. Cool. That's great. So that might be, so I'm going to turn that off actually, because that seems like a lot of overhead if we're not using it, but we'll do that as well. All right, we have our, these should be on one line. Horizontal line. Also replace the emoji at the top of the page with the logos for the models. Cool. I like that, chat. Okay, next up we were going to test this to see if ChatGPT is done, but it's still trucking. Yeah, so that'll be good. It'll give us the signature or the URL that the streamer will put into OBS somewhere here, which I should probably figure out where that is or what that looks like. And all these, I'm gonna, obviously make videos of how to do this in a simple way, so it's easy to do. And I also want to do a couple, like once it is working, basically have a lot of like, do kind of like a teaser reel for the homepage, just because I think it's, if you can see it, it's going to be a lot easier to explain. So just have like a hero banner video of like me streaming, like, Claude, that was amazing. Yes. And then, I don't know, just show it in a simple way. So then it might help the cause to bring in an easy way to see how to do it. Media categories. So I don't know where the RTMP. It might be one of these. Yeah, I don't know which one it is, but this might be interesting too, like to add it as a cam instead of just a basic URL, which I think it's, look, if you just have one link to make this work, or two links rather, browser source and the other thing, like, I think I'm totally comfortable with that being the way that it is. But if we can make it even simpler, that's the way to do it. Let's go back to here. Go back to here. Pricing. Okay, better. These are still not on the same line, and those are looking good. So the last one. Buttons are still misaligned to make sure they're all on the bottom of the container. Okay. Cool, 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 cool. Chat, this is looking good. This is looking real good. Might want to update that button. Keep it more buttony, like for the rest of the site. Let's see, is ChatGPT done? No. This is a big change, so I expected that one to take a little while. But chat, we are at 2:30, so I might call it here. Let's do one more test just to see if we can get ChatGPT to work as expected. So I'm going to actually go to our overlay page here. So let me go back to this screen. Okay, so let's test this quick. So Q, edit positions. Dang, chat. Look at that. Captions. Okay, so avatars we'll put in the middle. Q we'll put at the bottom. Captions below it. Listening up here. Actually, for the sake of this, let's spread it out a little bit. No, let's put it back in the middle. This is badass. Okay, so now where's our URL for that?
Okay. Well, chat, that's another thing we'll get fixed. But in the meantime, let's go back here, see if our text-to-speech is working as expected. So I'm going to mute the regular mic. Just do this and say, hey, how's it going? Can you guys hear this okay?
All set here. Want to do a quick mic check or tell us where you're tuning in from? Hey, we can hear you loud and clear. How's it going on your end?
All right, chat. We got a couple updates to do on that, but it's getting closer. Also, we got to test to see if it saved the 11 Labs TTS because it's a lot better. I don't know if you guys heard that earlier, but damn, is it good. Okay, let's do it real quick before, just to show and test to see if it's saved. Because this, we can test through this.
Just trust yourself, then you will know how to live.
Pre-chalice. Okay, so I'm going to go here. Hey, can you hear this okay? Ah, Shadow, thanks for the repost.
Yes, all
Appreciate
good on
you.
my end. We can hear you loud and clear. Want to do a quick mic check or tell us where you're tuning in from?
Okay, so it still needs some work on that. Definitely. A, didn't save the 11 Labs voice down here, and B, we're getting duplicate replay audio. So chat, we're going to add those to the list, and then we will hit it later today when we're back. So let's go to our ever-growing to-do list and say hearing duplicate audio on the overlay OBS page, OBS browser source page. Thanks again, Shadow. Really appreciate that. That means a lot, man. Browser page. Oh, cool. Sharon's the best. Big fan. Definitely. Much love, Sharon. So hearing duplicate audio on the overlay / OBS browser page. And we're also the ingestion or the speech to text ingestion is still only grabbing the second or the last part of the what do we call it? Of the batched speech to text inputs. Check Grok. By the way, we're using Grok GROQ and also Whisper for this. Grok is amazing, guys. It's blazing fast. It's pretty cheap, and I'm a big fan of it. And then what was the other issue? I think that might be it. Okay. But yeah, chat. This has been so fun. Shadow, I'm really sorry. I gotta do some IRL stuff now, but yeah, I'm gonna be back on later, and tomorrow gonna be streaming most of the day, hopefully, to test to see if we can get this working for play with the free version of Grok. Hell yeah. Free version of Grok is actually pretty OP. It's honestly, I love it as well, especially like if I'm on X and need to check something quick, like if something is legit or not.
that's my first thing now. I just click the little grok symbol on anything and can kind of get a test if it's grounded in reality. I'm following you now. Look forward to you next time. TYC. Hey, thanks so much, Shadow. Truly appreciate that. And yeah, excited. If you have any hints or tips or tricks on the process, feel free to let me know, and I'll try to do the same. We're going to be this week, guys, going through this whole process, right? So like even to the Stripe Atlas side, like how does this work? Different entity types, how that might work, go to market stuff, and then all the nerdy product stuff that we're going to have to do to make it work to get to that in the first place. So with that being said, Chad, thank you so much for hanging out today. Shadow, great to meet you. I'll check out your stuff too. I'm sure you're crushing it as well. Sharon, thank you for the kind words and stopping by. And everybody else that's been here. Hey, thank you. You too. Appreciate it. Everybody else here, thank you for watching. Very grateful. Chat, you are the reason still doing this, and hope it's helpful. If there's anything I can do to make it even more helpful for you guys, please let me know, and we'll do so. So with that being said, I hope you have a great evening, and hopefully I'll be on tonight, and if I'm not, I will be most of the day tomorrow, and hopefully we can get it working before the podcast. So we'll see. All right. Have a great one, chat.